Hi, I'm Chitra and you're watching Masala Box Travel. We are off to the next destination. I've got an early morning flight to Coimbatore and from here we are driving down to a nearest hill station. And no, it's not Ooty. We are heading to Valparai. Nature starts to follow us right when we touch Pollachi. And here we are at the Annamalai Tiger Reserve. This is the entry point for destinations like Monkey Falls, Alia Dam, Top Slip, and more. So you make an entry here, pay a small fee. The forest department staff check your vehicle to remove any plastic bottles and other unwanted plastic stuff and let you further onto the drive. All through the dive, the Alia Dam reservoir follows you. There is even a viewpoint from atop. There are viewpoints from where you can enjoy the Alia Reserve Forest or the Annamalai Thar Reserve Forest area itself. The lush greenery post monsoon definitely captures your eyes. While driving towards Valparai, you'll come across the Hornbill viewpoint. It needs a small fee and the forest guard informs you whether there is any possibility to view the hornbills or not. So it's generally during the season you might get to see, but nevertheless come here for the scenic beauty that is the Hornbill viewpoint. So what you're seeing here is the Upper Alia Dam on the top right corner, and from the Upper Alia Dam the water flows towards the Lower Alia Dam. And at the bottom you have a hydroelectric power station set up by Tamil Nadu. So it's a very unique place to come and watch, and if you're really lucky you might see a hornbill nesting and flying by, for which you have to wait for hours. From then on, the scenic beauty of the Western Ghats gets replaced by the man-made beauty, that is the tea plantation estates. That's right, Valparai is filled with tea plantation estates, and you cannot imagine the extent to which these tea plantation estates have grown. Everywhere you see, every corner of the hill you see, it's blankets and blankets of greenery. It is so beautiful to see these uniform tea plantations growing all around. The first stop was at Koozhangal River, also known as the Pebbles River. So this river flows through the tea plantations, and depending upon the water level, they let you get into the water if you want to take a refreshing bath. So as the name says, it's called Koozhangal River because it leaves big pebbles along its smooth flowing water, and it's crystal clear. You stand there and you can see all the pebbles, all the fishes nibbling at your feet, and you cannot resist from dunking your feet into this cold, refreshing water. My inner child was leashed out and I had so much fun here. After crossing nearly 40 hairpin bends, it was time to reach my place of stay. But the place was so beautiful that I couldn't resist from getting down and walking in the slight drizzle among the tea plantations. This is our way to one of the special properties that I have been dreaming for a long time to visit in Valparai. And to say that this is special because this group holds the maximum number of resorts in Valparai. So you get to choose which resort you want to stay in. and I always had an eye on the Stanmore bungalows from Briar Road. Stanmore tea bungalows are the original heritage bungalows where the Britishers had stayed. So I have been looking for heritage stays. So I always had an eye on the Briar tea bungalows in Valparai. But they suggested that the valley view cottages are beautiful because they give you the direct view into the tea plantations. So instead of the heritage bungalow, I decided to go for the cottage. So you are looking at the cottages. There are around 4 to 5 cottages which are valley facing, and they also have 2 rooms which is more like a family can stay. It has a ground floor and an upper floor kind. So almost all the cottages are facing the valley, and it is comfortable for, let's say, 2 to 3 people to stay in this room. The room is sufficed and stocked with everything from a comfortable bed, TV, desk, your um, fresh tea from the estate, and a tea maker. Everything is the toiletries, everything is available in the room itself. The best thing, as promised by the sales team of Briar Group, was the view itself. This is the view from the balcony of the cottage. I was immediately sold. I had almost cancelled all other plans of looking to go sightseeing in Valparai, because why would you leave this view and go outside anywhere? The place was flourishing with fauna, flora, and all sorts of creepy crawly insects, birds. So they have maintained this place so well along with the nature. They have their inbound in-house restaurant that you can come, and if the cottages are all full, they go for the full buffet. Otherwise, they bring the buffet to your table. So this was a simple lunch for just 2 people. There was veg biryani, chicken biryani, there was sambar rice, vegetables. Because I consume more vegetables than the rice itself, they had taken the pain to make delicious, yummy, tummy full of food. With wind in my hair, it was time to explore Valparai town. What better way to explore than to see how people live? So this is the Valparai town. Some of the simple guest houses, lodges, hotels are lined on this street, and it has your bus station as well. My idea was to get into the shop and buy a few things. This bakery had so many yummy stuff. I bought nice sweet varki, which is a sweet rusk, and paired with the Valparai tea, it lasted for the entire trip. I decided to walk further into the market. So while you're walking into the Valparai main market, you will see the street jutting in further down the hill. So this has a lot of old shops selling typical groceries or herbal stuff, um, your Ayurveda items, spices, and the regular stuff you would need for house, like puja items, vegetable, clothes, bag, everything you get here. And then on, the typical houses and stuff starts from the end of this road. I did notice few Airbnbs also on this side of the hill. By evening, the rain had caught up. Thankfully, there wasn't much of a traffic, but the rain was very heavy, And since this is a hill, there wasn't any water logging as such, and it kept rolling down the hill. Back at the resort for the rainy evening, dinner was ready, which again had array of dishes right from pulao, parota, chicken kurma, paneer kurma. Everything was ready and sumptuously tasty. I also took this opportunity to go look into one of the heritage rooms in the bungalow. The bungalow has around 3 or 4 heritage rooms. So these rooms are relatively bigger, and if you come as a family or a group that has 3 to 4 families, they tend to allot this side of the house because the bedrooms are close by and it has its own dining space. So I really loved this room. There's a huge bathroom, there's a huge dressing section along with the bathroom. It's slightly higher than the valley facing cottages, but the authentic feeling of living in an 100-year-old British bungalow is definitely fulfilled in this side of the Stanmore bungalow. Woke up to this beautiful view of mist settling in, and it was time for a walk through the tea plantation. For the morning walk, we have arrived at their other property called Puthuthottam Annexure. So this is a pretty deep into the jungle kind of property. The building you're seeing is actually the hall or dining area. If you're wondering what they were photographing, it is these lion-tailed macaques. They had completely taken over the area, and it's a dream sighting for me. The sole purpose of my visit to Valparai was to see these lion-tailed macaques, and I was fortunate to see not just one, but a whole lot of them, uh, with their kids, without their kids, walking around, eating fruits. Um, it was it was the most blessed sight to have. And they are an endemic species, and if you thought they get their name because of the mane around their face, that's not the case. They have this unique tail which looks like a lion with a tuft at the end of the tail. See there? So that is why they are called a lion-tailed macaque. They should also be called lion-faced macaque because it's quite majestic when you see them up front. That face just registers on your mind. From there, the walk starts around the estate. So you come in circle around this estate, and that's your tea plantation walk. In fact, the roads are wide. It's more like a hike, a good morning hike with no disturbance, fresh air, and beautiful scenery. A whistling thrush would be singing by, and you would see colorful mushrooms popping around, some coffee plants. If you're lucky, you might see somebody picking the tea. So, I really enjoy this walk. As you can see, this is a wide area to walk, and it's no fear of leeches unless you want to get walking through the tea plants itself. No fear of leeches, and it's a good way to rejuvenate yourself for a fresh morning. I was surprised to know that tea was not the first thing to be planted in Valparai. It was coffee, and it was planted by an Indian, and that was somewhere in the 1890s or 1840s. The first coffee plantation was started in Valparai. It was then taken over by another Indian company whose name I don't remember, and then the Britishers came somewhere in 1890s. From then on, it is all tea plantations, and you can see massive deforestation done, to be honest. So everything has been converted into tea plantations, and that's what the Britishers pretty much did. They did not leave any space anywhere. Whichever way you turn, however far your eyes can see, it's all green with the tea plants. We came across some of the people picking tea, and I got a little bit of yarn on how young tea leaves have to be nipped. Now you also have tools with which you can pluck more tea leaves than taking with the hand, because they have more incentives. They get incentives depending upon the kilogram of tea leaves they pluck. So these things are very important. On my way out, again somebody came to say hi. They were all over the car this time, and this baby, there were more babies around, monkeying around. I had a good sighting to my heart's content. Needless to say, there are many tea factories here, and you can choose to visit one of them. Stanmore also took me to their functioning tea factory. Photography was not allowed, so I'm not going to share that. But that's an activity you can do. Learn how they process the tea leaves, grind it to make fresh tea out of it. This was another tourist place called Nirar Tunnel Exit Viewpoint. The tea here was very good. Apart from that, you don't get to see the tunnel because the bridge is closed. When in Valparai, what I would say is forget all the tourist places. There is no bucket list for you to tick. It is the scenic beauty of the place itself. Keep driving, you'll come across small villages like this. There will be streams flowing out of nowhere, a simple village with 4 to 5 houses, a village god guarding the village. And that is the beauty of Valparai. Wherever you turn, there is beauty, and that is all you can take in. The next day I woke up to a surprise from Stanmore. They had set up a nice breakfast with a view. So rather than in the restaurant, this had this valley view breakfast with all the options brought to the table itself. Needless to say, they fed us well, and this was more like a candle-lit dinner kind, but a breakfast. Very intimate and nice to have. So now we are headed to the Balaji temple. The Balaji temple is the main tourist spot that many suggest in Valparai. Go as early as possible. Like some people say, go at 5 or 6. By the time I reached, it was closed, and it's inside a private estate. So it's closed means it's closed. It's not like just the Garbhagraham is closed. The gates itself is closed, and you cannot see the temple. But I hear early morning there is mist and fog as close as to your feet, and it feels like floating in the sky. So try to go early. The path to the temple or the drive up the hill is through a very narrow road, and I felt it to be very scary. Gauge yourself for the drive. Did you hear the whistling thrush sing? It sings all through the day. It's so beautiful. Listen again. It is said that the bird sings either with a melancholy or with a happy mood, depending upon how the day is. So we got to hear both of it. It was very tough to photograph the bird. So down from here, there is also a hike to a river below, which goes through rugged paths. And if there are no elephant movement, they help you with a guide to take that hike as well. So that's another activity you can do at Stanmore. Every time I woke up to this view, it felt like a fairy tale. There was mist or fog all over the place, a whistling thrush singing in the background, a red squirrel running around, an old tea factory in one corner looking at you with all the mystery filled, a peacock hopping here and there, a red water tanker driving through these lush green fields. It's a sight I will not forget for a very, very long time. To sit here with a lemon tea and a book along with a sweet Varki was definitely one of my favorite activities. I had no mind to leave Valparai and I had no mind to leave Stanmore Bungalows either, but it was time to. And I took ample pit stops to enjoy this beauty. If you come sometime around December Jan, you will get to see a lot of elephant movements as well. So plan your trip either during monsoon, post monsoon, or somewhere in December to see this kind of a lush greenery, mist, and so on. The surprise did not end. I got to see a Nilgiri Thar, which is another endemic species as well, when we were driving down. So Valparai was filled with surprises after surprises, and this is going to be best memorable trip I've ever had. I hope to return here someday soon, and I hope you enjoy this video as well. If you did, give a like, subscribe to Masala Box Travel and share it.